Hello everyone, this is Simone. Today I would like to show you a flip through of this Hobonichi Cousin. I used this as a planner and journal from July until December, and I have used it in a few different ways throughout these 6 months, and I just wanted to flip through the whole book so that you can see how it actually changed. I have this elastic band. This is just from my sewing stash. I tied a knot and I'm keeping it shut like that. And I decorated the cover with various different things. Sticker flakes, a die cut from Once More with Love. I had made this for another journal, but then decided I wasn't going to use it. This is from Some Little Things, an old Coco Daisy sticker that was on one of their kits, a decal that I made myself, and then I made this one as well. To the Coffee Monsters die cuts, closure of an envelope from Sissy's Art Cafe, and then this is a sticker, Snoopy sticker, that I had in my stash. I then just recently added this clear sticker tape here because these were starting to come off. And so because I was putting this on and off, this is how it's holding it down. In the front right here is a card that I received from Sissy's Art Cafe, and then I put this Instax photo from my husband on here because I thought it would work really well. And then I have my phone number on this free printable from Love Cynthia. On this overview, this is a 6-month calendar. I put an index here. I tracked my YouTube and Instagram's followers right here, and in the bottom I had a cleaning list. This moved to my Filofax. I did not use any of this. And then in the monthlies, I created monthly overviews with my work schedule and appointments that did not occur regularly. Sometimes I decorated, sometimes I didn't. Mostly I decorated very minimally, as you can see. I tried to use up a lot of my stash. So this is Coco Daisy stickers that were left over from several years ago. Same with this. This one is also Coco Daisy. This one is a free printable from their website. This is the style planner, and I had those. I purchased those for 2020, but I forgot to use many of them. In December, I used this to just write down a snippet of the day. Not a snippet, just a small summary of my day, because I was going back to using the Hobonichi weeks for my memory keeping, documenting, and I realized that having some kind of place where I put down what I did, and especially not so much the to-dos, but more this made me happy or stuff like that, so that I could refer to it when I would do my sit down and do my weekly spread in the weeks. And then on the weekly pages or the weekly spreads, vertical weekly, I decided to use this to create an overview of my week, to see how busy I was, but it was quite empty, which I did not really like. And then in August, I started to do my weekly documentation in here. And I do love this kind of documenting. I have done this in various different planners, formats, sizes, and it's always something that I come back to. So here I decided I wanted to do this in here. so that the weekly pages would get fuller, and they did. However, what happened as a result was that I wasn't really using this for planning anymore because it got very busy, as you can see. I used it for a long time, almost all the way through December. But I think the first week of December was the last week that I actually was able to document. Yeah. So the second week of December, I did not continue. I'm not sure if it was this bold purplish color or if it just wasn't working for me anymore. At that time, I was already using the Hobonichi weeks again, so it was kind of doubling up, and I enjoyed the weeks more, so maybe that's the reason why I didn't use it anymore. You can see I left off the to-do list and the Instagram ideas because I was using a pocket traveler's notebook for planning by that time, and so I didn't want to double up. That is probably my main reason why I often stop doing things. I was trying to use up what was in my stash, so every month I picked kits and items that I would use on these pages, and it was I really enjoyed creating these spreads, and maybe I do have a favorite. I'm not really sure. I do know that I really like the way each one turned out. Some were more challenging than others. Sometimes the color scheme wasn't exactly what I would have picked, like what I would have gravitated towards. But I do, apart from like this one, I think this color was so bold, and so I needed to try and work this into my spread, and I think I did a good job. It wouldn't probably be something that I would do again, but yes, I really like experimenting and trying things that aren't always my comfort zone. So yeah, that is how this turned out. Maybe this is my favorite spread, not really sure. Or this one. I really like how many stickers are on there. It's kind of like a sticker sneeze on one hand, but on the other, still, I love it. Really like how these hexagons look. And then, yeah. So then before the first day of the month, there is this turning the page. And on this page, my husband and I sat down and just brainstormed ideas and things that we think, where are we in 10 years? What we love to do? How old will we be by that time? I will be 53. Wow. Our youngest son will be 21. That was like, wow, we will be definitely leading a different life. And we were just imagining how that could look. And that's what is under here. This is my July next actions list. And then on this page, I put this free printable from Pen and Alex. She is a German online shop, Instagrammer, and content creator. And so I put this monthly overview up here and then put my workflow down here. And then I used this as a planner for a long time. I put my to-do list up here. This was kind of the documenting that I started doing in these pages. I did in here in the beginning. I journaled, I created, I was doing a draw every day challenge in July. Put some of my bullet journal lists down here, trackers, things like that down here. So that was very documenting, very scattered around. And yeah, this is how the first month, or actually 2 months, look like. I'm just gonna flip through and share this with you. Here I wanted to participate in the Bay Area Fiber Fair challenges. Wow, I was dreaming of when the days have 48 hours instead of only 24. And no, this wasn't. I think in October it started to veer off from here. So at the beginning of the day, I would put in my appointments and my work schedule, and then I would journal about what happened on the right side. It is divided. Here is hourlies, and then there is this thin line, so that could be looked as your column for your schedule, and then there's this space, and so I often would journal in that space right here. Then on the last day of July, I would put my August next actions list, and then again YouTube, and then we continue. Here I started doing weekly reviews. Sometimes I had a lot of time to journal, sometimes I didn't, and that's when this is rather empty. There is a planner tag that Ellie's Corner created, the planner tag 2020, who's behind the hands. I finally, in August, I finally was able to film my response video to that. And then I printed this. Wasn't really successful, but it filled a page. Here is Sissy's Art Cafe Happy Mail. I put down my weekend goals. I have several videos about weekend goals and why I really like them up here on my channel. So there is one right here, more drawing. Here is a list for the Hobonichi reveal and what I would like to purchase. Here's the list of what I would like to include in a reference notebook. Here's my September next actions list, my monthly review, my weekly review, and then here's September YouTube. I added this decluttering list, and then I realized that I would have loved to journal about another event that happened here. So I added this sticky note, but this is kind of where I started to keep myself away from using the journaling page, because I was afraid that I would take up too much space from the journaling place that is below. And that was something that I didn't really want to happen. And so at one point in October, I think, sometimes I obviously didn't journal, even though I would have loved to. I moved away from using this as a planner, especially the daily pages as planning. I used into a pocket notebook. So that was all the open tasks that I still needed to do. And so that there is a list here, and then I put my weekend goals below. Here's my weekly review. And then for October, I added this tip in. Here's my checklist where I'm in the review process for my monthly review. There's my October next actions list, and then here is October YouTube. I was going to use the notebooks for these lists, but those I wasn't really able to fully put to good use, and so I decided to get rid of that and put this list in here. Just stuck it on there after I decided that I would get rid of it. Here I didn't journal at all, just created on the page. There's my weekend goals, and this is basically where I moved away. October is where I moved away from the to-do lists because they just took over so much space. Even though I didn't really have that much to journal about, I don't know. It just didn't work for me anymore. Maybe because it was too colorful and distracted from my to-do list. Probably because when you look at my pocket notebook, it is pen only. There is an occasional sticker, but that's it. And so maybe that was the reason why it didn't work in here anymore. I'm glad I tried because it definitely helped me fine-tune how I'm planning. So there's no regrets here at all. I started having some kind of planner confusion, so I wrote a lot about this in the upcoming pages. There's like planner confusion here. There's even more planner confusion down here. Here is more thoughts about planning. Here I used a journaling prompt from the Awesome Ladies project, which was called What's for Breakfast, and journaled about it down here. There is more weekend goals. This was a planning list for Vlogtober ideas. Then there was nothing on here. Here I looked up the word super fecundation because we were wondering if it actually would work that kittens have different fathers, and it does, but probably ours don't. This I really like, except for the fact that when I was going to put the border around this, I smeared all of the fountain pen ink. Here's video ideas. So there's sometimes it's planning or thoughts about planning, and then it's more journaling. I still use this for part of my planner, just not for my daily to-do list. I tipped in this Boo acetate from the Style Planner. Again, you can totally see that I try to use up lots of things. And here is this is the Halloween week, so I used lots of Halloween stuff. Tipped in Happy Mail. More Halloween. Then I put in this vellum, and I stamped November on here. It's really hard to see, but if I put it right over here, you can see it. My November schedule, a weekly review. Here is where I started to print the free printables from Coco Daisy. I love Linu's pots and her art, and so most of the time they have planner pages, but the margins are where they put all of these decoration and die cuts. So that's what I did here. Sometimes it doesn't really have to be a lot. So yeah, it became a lot more artsy, maybe more journaling. There's lots of planner problems again and still. And I also noticed that I don't really care for daily dated pages. And yes, of course, I can disregard these, but I don't. I know that for me at some point this might become a problem, and so I actually sold my Hobonichi Cousin that I had already purchased, and purchased a Hobonichi Cousin day free because I'm trying to facilitate journaling and planning for myself as much as possible, because I know that I'm susceptible for these kinds of things. And so, yeah, definitely, if I know that this would bother me at one point, take it away. I organized a YouTube series, the 2020 Planner Advent, with 4 of my YouTube friends. And this was the first video that I made for that. There's another video where I talked about my reading pile that never grows smaller. There's weekend goals here. This is Sissy's Art Cafe printable. There's a list, weekly review, and then my friend Mar shared we exchanged advent calendars, and so I documented that in here with the free printable from Job's journal and the numbers that she made for me. And then I also tipped in this paper just because I really like it. And yeah, so that is what this is all about. Stamps is empty, but I could still keep this right here. And I have to flip faster because I need to leave. I created an ink palette based on this image or the colors. I tried to come close. And there's journaling videos or planner videos for the YouTube series right here, plus documenting Happy Mail and the Advent calendar. Here is the third video, and then what I needed, a list of what I needed to do so that it is set up. Weekend goals, I made some envelopes. Here's my shopping minimalism FOMO versus inspiration journaling spread that I created for day 16. More documenting a haul from London Gifties. Here is the Little Red House. More weekly reviews, thoughts about my budget, my Christmas haul, more Happy Mail, a weekly review. This is what I just recently uploaded onto YouTube. I will link it in the cards up here. And then here's my monthly review checklist, free printable from Brandy Kincaid. And then this was my pen test in the beginning. And then in the last pages, these printed ones, I added photos, cards that I received at the end of the year. Some of them are more recent, some of them are really old. This one my friends brought back to me, and I decided I was going to stick it right in here. And then this is a card my dad wrote me for Christmas several years ago. And then this is finished. I'm super happy how this turned out. I would highly encourage you to just go with your gut and do not limit yourself to a certain size or format. I was going to use a B6 Stalogy and then at the last minute changed my mind, and I'm so glad about it. I hope you liked this flip through. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you soon. Bye.